What is up, guys? Sophie here, back with another topic. If you are new here, don't forget to like this video, share, and also subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you can stay updated on all of my content. And also don't forget to check the description box because I always put a lot of stuff in there, such as my book specifically for single women. So what we're going to be talking about today is your behavior and your mouth. And also we're going to talk about, especially for those who are single, on how this can be causing you issues with men or issues even with people. I noticed that we are just in a world of outrage, fake outrage. People just want to go off for no apparent reason whatsoever. And one of the fruits of the spirit is self-control. You should be able to control yourself. You should be able to control your mouth. And don't get it twisted. I'm not telling you that you can't say or express yourself. There is a way to appropriately express yourself, and there is a way to just be going off and always argumentative. So as always, I'm going to pull out a few Bible verses so that we can get into this. So the first comes from Proverbs 25:24. It is better to live in a corner of the house on a flat roof, exposed to the weather, than in a house shared with a quarrelsome and contentious woman. So this is actually from the Amplified version. And so I want to explain what contentious is. So the definition of contentious is causing or likely to cause argument or controversy. So what it is saying is that it is better for a man to be outside homeless in some snow and some rain than to share a space with you. Because ultimately, like I'm going to get into in Proverbs 25:14, a constant dripping of the day, a steady rain, and a contentious or a quarrelsome woman are alike. Meaning that if you are quarrelsome, your voice is like a dripping faucet that is just beating someone in the brain, drilling a hole in their head. And sometimes people don't want to deal with that, right? And then even the last verse I'm going to say comes from Proverbs 21:19. It is better to dwell in a desert land than with a contentious and troublesome woman. And if you read the Bible, there are plenty of other verses that are like this, where it says that if you are with a troublesome or contentious woman, then it is better for you to go ahead and be by yourself. And so I think that it's important for most women to go ahead and reflect on their behavior, because for whatever reason, women think that it is cute to start drama, to fight, whether that is physically, whether that is arguments, whether that is online, whether that is in person. People think that it is cute to start drama, to gossip, and to get drama started. And at the end of the day, none of that is cute. And you have to reflect on why it is that you're doing that. Is there some inadequacy in you where you feel forceful, or you feel like everybody has to think or be like you? Because at the end of the day, everybody don't have to think and be like you. At the end of the day, none of us are perfect, and whatever it is that you're saying might be wrong. And even if it is right, it is not up to you to fight and make and do and argue and talk and beat somebody over the brow with what it is that you're saying. And I think that even particularly in the Christian community, we like to hide this behavior under the guise of helping someone out. And see, these sort of things cause you to have a reputation. It causes you to have a reputation in the workplace. It causes you to have a reputation among friends, and it causes you to have a reputation among men, because nobody wants to be around you, and it is always a headache. Understand the difference between expressing yourself in a constructive way and expressing yourself in an aggressive and an argumentative way. So why don't we go ahead and talk about the difference, right? What is the point of communicating with somebody? The point of communicating with an individual, whether it be a man, a friend, a boss, whoever the case may be, is to be heard. If I am talking to you, like the point of this video is right now, is for me to communicate a point to you, for you to hear me and to get something from what I am saying. Either you can agree with what I'm saying or you can disagree with what I'm saying. The point of communication is not, oh, if I can come at you hard and hurt your feelings or make you feel bad about yourself, or if I can start an argument with you, or if I am, can out yell you or over talk you, then this is winning and it makes me look cute. It doesn't make you look cute, because it is better for somebody to be homeless out in the freaking snow and in the rain and in a tornado and in a hurricane than it is to be with you. For example, if you are always entering a situation or talking to somebody and you notice that people stray away, or they don't want to talk to you, or they are very silent, or you are always getting into it with other people, then at some point you need to to reflect that perhaps it is not them, but perhaps it is you. What is it? This contentious behavior where you're just controversial, or you want to say things to intentionally trigger people, or to be upset, or to randomly go out and start arguments with people, or to be overly disagreeable just for the sake of being disagreeable, right? This has become a popularized thing, and because some people feel like, oh, well, it makes me sound smart, or it makes me sound educated, or it makes me sound, no, it makes you sound like somebody that nobody wants to be around. And not only that whenever you communicate with a person or even a potential date, to actually reflect, are you communicating in a way to be heard? And just like I said, what is the point of communication? If I'm talking to my boyfriend or whatever, and the point of us speaking to one another is because I am upset about something that you did, the reason why I am communicating with you is so that you can understand how upset I am, so that you can change your behavior to not do it again in the future. It is not to tell you what a piece of crap you are, what a bad man you are, and to try to make you feel crappy about yourself, or to invoke some type of negative reaction out of you. That is not purposeful communication. The only thing that does is communicate strife and more anger within your relationships, within your friendships, within your working relationships. Some of the ways that you can handle this situation, and here is what I always say. If somebody is disagreeing with me, then I always say, okay, we can agree to disagree. Nobody is saying that you need to back down or become some type of robot and conform to everything that everybody else is saying because you don't want to come across as disagreeable. That's not what I'm saying. But if somebody is, especially if somebody is getting excitable, we can just agree to disagree. Or I will say, I don't feel that way, but I understand why you might feel that way. Or a lot of the times I would just openly end the conversation, right? Everybody's different. We're all different people. God created us different, and we're going to have different opinions, right? But understanding that and not becoming forceful or argumentative or contentious in your communication helps you communicate and understand other people by understanding that it doesn't always have to be your way. People don't necessarily have to see things the way that you see things. You don't necessarily have to hurt people in order to feel heard, or ultimately to feel like you are getting your point across, because the only person that makes you look is a fool out of you. And while you think that you're winning, other people are wondering what's going on with crazy over there. So when it comes to women, and I always talk about elevating ourselves, right? It's like we have to set ourselves apart. You have to be the individual that says, I'm going to be a cut above the rest, and I'm not necessarily going to fit into the crowd, even though it is popular to behave in this way. Because what this is causing, and just as a whole, as a masses, is just causing a whole bunch of fights, division, and strife for no apparent reason whatsoever. People want to get on their high horse and not be humble enough to say, oh, I apologize that I made you feel this way. Or if you became explosive, I apologize for doing that. We have a lot of arrogance, right? Because that's what it is. And not wanting to humble ourselves in the way that, or take responsibility in our actions and how we play a part and how people react to us. Because sometimes it could be like poking the bear. Like you could be very argumentative. You could be very angry. You could be very quarrelsome. You could be very contentious, right? And then on the opposite end of that spectrum, when somebody snap on your behind, you want to sit up there and play victim, or you want to come harder at them, when all reality, all of this could have been prevented had you just operated out of self-control and had you operated in controlling yourself. And so over, snapping and calling somebody names and telling a man that he ain't crap and he ain't never gonna be crap and his mama ain't ever gonna be crap, because ultimately that's not the type of wife or future wife that we want to be. That is not the type of friend that we want to be to others, and especially other women. Our responsibility should be to uplift and encourage one another's. And that is not the type of reputation that we want to have in a workplace where we are just very angry or mean, or where we just want to jab people or hurt people that are around us. Because if you feel that way, then you need to reflect on if there is an inadequacy within you where you feel the need to project anger and controversy around you. And the last thing that I want to say in regards to this is that whenever it is that you speak, make sure that you speak in a logical way, right? Because I think that a lot of this is what is behind controversy. A lot of people just talk and they get into arguments based off of assumptions. A lot of the times when people speak, you just pull out crap out of thin air. And then when your words are misunderstood because you are coming up with an illogical rationale based on whatever, this could be, even in a relationship, if you feel like your man went to the bathroom for 5 minutes and he met some chick in there and now he cheating, and now you coming up with this illogical rationale as to why he was in the bathroom for too long and saying that he was with another woman. It's like none of this makes sense. Before we speak and come to conclusions, we need to say to ourselves, does this logically make sense? Do I have the information that I need to back up what I'm saying? Because otherwise, if I just start making a bunch of random assertions that make no logical sense whatsoever, then this is going to start controversy. It is going to start an argument. And overall, if this is your behavior, then you are being contentious, which is very problematic because you're just making assertions based off of randomness instead of based off logic and fact, right? And I think that if we operate in that way, then this could definitely change the way we communicate and make it into a more understanding, right? Because the point of communication is I talk, you talk, and we both feel understood and we walk away from the situation with the solution, not I yell, you yell, neither of us feel understood. We're still mad about it 5 days later. We get into an argument about it again and we're back where we started, because that's not a solution. That's just going around in the same circle. And as we can always hear, that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over again and expecting different results. So I do feel that as women, especially even as Christian women or spiritual women, let's start holding ourselves accountable to a higher caliber of how we communicate. We always so quick to point the finger at somebody else, telling somebody what they did, how they talking to us, and blah, blah, blah. Okay, but let's turn the mirror onto ourselves and reflect on, do we contribute to that problem? Do we contribute of the way that people react to us? Is the instruction that comes out of our mouth full of wisdom? And the Bible specifically tells us that, or instruction, or is it kind, or is it just full of recklessness? And does it cause controversy and wreak havoc and hurricanes and tornadoes everywhere we go? And so if it is the latter, then you are the common denominator. And if you are the common denominator, then sad to say, then you might be the problem. All right, guys. So thank you guys so much for listening. And I hope I didn't hurt anyone's feelings, because like I said in my communication style, that certainly was not my intention, but for us to have some self-reflection and all how we talk to each other and just to be a little bit more kind. So I will see you guys and talk to you guys another day, another time. Bye-bye, y'all. Not ready for the show to end? It doesn't have to. You can head over to my site where you can read hundreds of articles. And also you can feel free to shop my store where I have all of my products for sale. And last but not least, for even more video content, feel free to visit my YouTube channel where I talk about a wide array of content. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And until next time, stay blessed.